Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. The hospital expansion in Prince Albert has reached a milestone. The Prince Albert Victoria Hospital project achieved 1 million worker hours on site. PCL Construction says the hours were completed by about 1,500 workers. The expansion creates 500 jobs at the hospital, and the SHA has begun the early hiring process. The hiring plan includes an Indigenous and Northern recruitment and retention strategy developed in partnership with Prince Albert Grand Council.
This critical expansion project will deliver closer to home, enhanced, modernized care for residents of Northern Saskatchewan. This means reduced need to travel long distances to access care, shorter wait times, and overall improved patient outcomes and experience.
The budget for the expansion project is sitting at more than $850 million. It's expected to be complete in 2028. A 28-year-old man from Calgary has been charged with human trafficking after a 6-month investigation from several law agencies, including the Regina Police Service. Last December, Regina Police were alerted to a woman being trafficked for sex across Western Canada, including Regina. On May 20th, a 28-year-old man was arrested while 4 homes, a business and a vehicle were searched in Calgary by Alberta law enforcement. The man made his first appearance on the charges this morning in Regina Provincial Court. The Transportation Safety Board is investigating after a small plane made an emergency landing northwest of Saskatoon last night. Corman Park Police say its officers, along with RCMP, were told a plane had crashed near Lutheran Road and Range Road 3072. That call came in NAV Canada's Saskatoon Control Tower. Officers arrived to find the plane had not crashed, but was running out of fuel and lost engine power and was forced to land. No one was injured, and the plane was able to land on the roadway undamaged. The plane was refueled and able to take off and return to its departure airport. RCMP in La Ronge say a plane crashed on Nemaben Lake Tuesday afternoon. A call came in just before 2:30 on Tuesday for a report of a plane crash on Nemaben Lake about 25 kilometers northwest of La Ronge. RCMP responded with local EMS and firefighters. They found the sole occupant of the plane, who was assessed and did not report any injuries. An investigation confirmed there was no damage to nearby structures and nobody was injured in the surrounding area. RCMP say Transport Canada has been notified and that the incident is not criminal in nature. It's been a while since a little bit of wind goes a long way, and we welcome it here. Usually it brings a little bit of a bite, but today it was just right.
Well, you know what? It depends on who you talk to, but yeah, there were certainly windy or breezy conditions in many parts of the province, but of course the big deal of the day, John, is the heat. Temperatures into the 30s, low 30s for many locations, and it looks as though the heat is sticking around, and with that heat, the potential for some showers and some thunderstorms is in the forecast, and we'll talk about that later on.
Prince Albert's own Caitlin Willoughby says she's still riding high after helping the Montreal Victoire become the first Canadian team to win the PWHL championship in the league's 3-year history. Willoughby hoisted the Walter Cup after the Montreal Victoire defeated the Ottawa Charge 4-0 last Wednesday. Her former Saskatchewan Huskies coach Robin Ulrich was in the stands to watch the victory, capping off a special moment for both of them.
She's been a part of my hockey journey since Husky days, and she continues to support me, and I've felt the support from her. And so to have her out on the ice with me to celebrate after was pretty special.
Getting to see Caitlin play and for the Victoire to win was just an amazing experience, and really cool to see the journey that she's been on and where it's taken her to.
Ulrich says Willoughby's success has provided a boost for the Saskatchewan Huskies women's hockey program as the team continues to position itself as a stepping stone to professional hockey. Leaders in the funeral industry from across the country have gathered in Saskatoon this week. The Funeral Services Association of Canada Summit and Exhibitor Showcase brings together death care professionals for education and conversations about the industry. The organization's executive director shares while the topic can be heavy, events like this one have a big impact.
There's something powerful about being in a room with like-minded people, with people that just get it. So these are people that day in and day out. They are serving families across the country during their darkest days.
This is the first time the summit has been hosted in Saskatchewan since 2012, where Regina played host. Saskatoon City Council was looking to make some changes to how taxis operate, but safety and pricing concerns slammed the brakes on any updates. As part of a review to fix regulatory issues with taxi operations, the city was proposing 8 changes to the vehicle for hire bylaw. Some were housekeeping items like adding decals of fare prices to the outside of the cab, and some involved larger changes like overhauling the van or large vehicle rate, but not listed among them was any safety protocols, and that concerned councillors who had recent violent incidents shared with them.
It was just a couple of weeks ago, we were sitting here in committee and a gentleman came to do a presentation, and just the other day he was shot in the face with a pellet gun. So my concern, I'm in favor of looking at these things. I want to know when, because these drivers need security now.
Council has ultimately put off any changes until at least September, when administration will present more options to beef up security and safety rules. Thousands of Muslims gathered Wednesday morning in Saskatoon to celebrate Eid al-Adha, one of the holiest days Islam, as millions of others observe the day across the world. Worshippers from nearly 70 different countries came to Prairieland Park for prayer and celebration. The event marks the culmination of Hajj and commemorates the story of prophets like Abraham, a symbol of faith, sacrifice, and perseverance in Islam. The morning prayer is highly visual, with rows of worshippers bowing in unison, followed by speeches, family celebrations, food, and exchanging gifts. Organizers say the gathering also includes prayers for people suffering in conflict zones around the world. Between the two prayers, organizers say there were about 12,000 people, which includes careful planning for traffic in and around Prairieland Park. 20 kilometers east of Prince Albert, the Steep Creek Trout Pond is now ready for fishing, thanks to the hard work of some local high school students. The students have spent the last 4 months raising rainbow trout through the Fish in Schools program. The students from today's fish release are part of the Prince Albert Collegiate Institute's program. The almost 100 rainbow trout were raised from eggs delivered by the provincial fish hatchery in Fort Capel. Students enjoy the opportunity for hands-on learning.
The opportunity is you get to go outside most of the time and hang out with nature, go on walks.
The Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation's local chapter supports the program with funding for aquariums and supplies. When we come back, warmer weather means the return of bumblebees. A study using wireless technology to learn just how busy bees are. All right, Jeff, for those of us making it through hour 16 in a row of good weather, what do we have in store for us the rest of the week?
Well, things are starting to get a little unsettled, shall we say. Now, it's not immediate. This is going to take a couple more days to percolate, but we were looking initially at forecasts where it's like, okay, it's going to be mainly cloudy, but things have gotten just hot enough, and of course you create some of that daytime heating, and then some of the instability is created in the atmosphere on a prolonged fashion. So we still have a relatively quiet situation across the Saskatchewan and Manitoba areas, but then as we got this the big pressure ridge, the high pressure ridge that's built in, and all these storms get steered to the north, but that is going to start breaking down a little bit even as this system, or rather the ridge, slides to the east. So a couple of things at play there. So we do anticipate some inclement weather. Now, we'll take a look at the next 24 hours, and we're still not anticipating a lot in the way of active weather. Those storms still continue to be steered to the north, where there may be a few showers, and I mean spotty in nature, as we roll into tomorrow afternoon or the early morning hours. But all in all, things are looking fairly stable, and winds are expected to start backing off. We don't anticipate as windy a day tomorrow as we had today. So tonight, temperatures dropping down to 18 degrees in Spiritwood and the Battlefords and Candle Lake, 20 degrees overnight in Birch Hills, Rostern 19, the same for the Nipawin area, and Melfort also in at 19 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And that's the expected condition throughout much of the region. On to Thursday. Well, Thursday shows us this. Yeah, temperatures staying well into the 30s. The coolest, if you can believe it, the coolest spot is going to be Spiritwood at 33 degrees. The Battlefords, 34. 35 in Candle Lake. 36 in Birch Hills. Also 36 in Rostern. Melfort also at 36. And most of the communities I just mentioned are all under mainly partly to mainly cloudy skies tomorrow. But Nipawin is seeing a bit more in the way of sunshine on Thursday, and just a hair warmer at 37 degrees. So some very warm temperatures. Now we'll take a look at what's going on specifically for Prince Albert. Overnight dropping down to 19 degrees, partly cloudy conditions, and staying pretty windy. But as we get into the overnight period, the winds start to back off, and then by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon, we still have a moderate wind. Not like it drops right off, but winds out of the south at 20, so it'll still be a warm wind, and that's understandable when you see a daytime high expected of 36 degrees. Yeah, that is roasty and toasty. So for the long-range forecast for Prince Albert area, we've got ourselves 34 degrees on Friday with partly cloudy skies or mainly cloudy conditions, mainly cloudy, and 31 on Saturday. Sunday, things start to break down a little bit, or they increase depending on how you want to talk about the instability factor here, but about a 40% chance of showers on Sunday, close to that on Monday, but a risk of thunderstorms on both days. 29 degrees on Sunday, 24 on Monday, Tuesday 18, and 15 on Wednesday.
There you go, Jeff. And you know what they say, if you can't take the heat, wait till Tuesday.
There you go. That's exactly what they say.
Exactly. There you go. Well, down in Regina at Saskatchewan Rough Riders training camp, there are a lot of special teams starting spots still up for grabs, with 2 kickers, 2 punters, and 2 long snappers still at camp. The 2 kickers, American Jonathan Kim and global player Alex Hale, both played college in the States, and while the kicking motion isn't changing, kicking a CFL ball is admittedly a little different.
So I would say the CFL ball is right in between the sizes of a NFL ball and a college ball. So I kind of like to play it more like an NFL ball because I think it's closer to an NFL ball than it is a college ball. So, you know, going through NFL prep and all that stuff, really not a huge difference. The only big difference I would say is the CFL ball is a little bit lighter, so it gets pushed around a little bit more by the wind. So nothing form-wise, just a little bit different aiming points.
Yeah, it's a little different from the NFL ball. The sweet spot's in a little different spot. So once you kind of figure that out, you just trust that and then use that in your process.
With final cuts this weekend, head coach Corey Mace said they could potentially keep both kickers, something the Riders have done in the past, but it all depends on how the rest of the roster falls together.
When it comes to Olympic hockey, Saskatchewan has a little history with its biggest rivalry. You're looking at rare footage from 1992 when Canada's Olympic men's hockey team faced Team USA at SaskTel Centre in Saskatoon. The game was played in January of that year, just a few weeks ahead of the Olympics, as part of an exhibition series before the Olympics began. This was before NHL players had ever left en masse to play in the Olympic Games. So this team included some future NHLers like Eric Lindros, Sean Burke, Joe Juneau, and Dave Archibald. The game started off with the U.S. grabbing the lead in the first period, but Canada battled back, getting the tying goal from Stéphane Roy, the brother of Hall of Fame goaltender Patrick Roy. And with the score 3-2 for Canada, Dave Archibald would put one home in the third period to give Canada a 2-goal lead. Team Canada went on to win 5-2 over Team USA in Saskatoon, their final game in North America, before playing in the Olympics in Albertville, France.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Woodfinish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
Iron deficiency affects more than 10% of the population in Canada. Iron supplements have typically been hard to take, but as Pauline Chan reports, there are newer treatments available.
Francine Joseph says she was always tired and cold.
Anyone who knows me knows that I have a scarf around me in the office or even walking, even in summertime. So that was one of the symptoms as well.
But then after the birth of her daughter and 2 separate car accidents, her symptoms intensified in 2017.
I was getting constant migraines, feeling super dehydrated, super weak. So my doctor, she ordered me more tests. And then at that point, we realized it's actually iron deficient.
Iron deficiency is one of the most common causes of anemia, and certainly as a primary care physician is something I deal with multiple times a day. Females who menstruate are typically, struggling with anemia.
In fact, 40% of menstruating women suffer from low iron, and it's not just women.
Crohn's and colitis, dietary changes, there's a whole slew of other medical conditions that can cause your iron to be low.
Dr. Christine Palme says low iron can cause fatigue, memory, and concentration problems.
Long-term consequences are cardiovascular complications. You can develop skin changes, nail changes, hair loss, things like that. So much more common than one would think, and certainly something that as primary care we often miss.
Adding iron-rich foods to your diet is a first step.
Step 2 is pharmacological treatment, and there's many things that are available over the counter. And in some cases they work, but they also come with side effects. Many patients can't tolerate the gastrointestinal side effects related to the medications.
But Francine is on a new medication. Acrufer is the only oral iron therapy prescription approved in Canada. She takes that twice a day, and 4 times a year she goes in for iron transfusions. Dr. Palme calls Acrufer a game changer for patients who had severe side effects before.
Point being, patients have a wide variety of options, and just because one fails, go back, try another one.
And for Francine, it's allowing her to enjoy life like never before. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
With more than 1,000 suspected Ebola cases reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo and neighboring countries, Ottawa's moving ahead with new travel restrictions. Starting at 11:59 p.m. tonight, immigration documents will be suspended for residents of the DRC, Uganda, and South Sudan. Just before midnight on Saturday, anyone entering Canada who'd recently been in those hard-hit regions will have to quarantine for 21 days. Federal Health Minister Marjorie Michel says the steps were taken in collaboration with the provinces ahead of the FIFA World Cup.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
Well, if you ever wondered what the answer to the question, what's up, dog? It's coming up in about 2 or 3 seconds because the Edmonton Valley Zoo has a pup date to share. This is brand new video of the zoo's 3 new Arctic wolf pups. Zoo staff say the trio is spending some time outside now of their den. The zoo announced their births last week and say they are doing just fine. They also included a fun fact about the species, saying Arctic wolf pups are born completely blind and completely dependent on their parents, emerging from the den only after several weeks. And those look like, I mean, to me, that looks like a couple of almost German Shepherd pups.
Oh, yeah. There's a very, let's face it, they're all part of the dog family, It's like, or the other way around. Dogs are part of the wolf family. But those are cute critters there. So
maybe that's just rolling around in the dirt is giving them their coat a nice little golden hue to it or something like that.
I don't think that's true. That's dirt enhanced.
Well, they'd stand out if I was looking at the 3 of those in a snowbank or a,
that would help. That would help. But yes, I don't know if these particular critters are at risk or endangered, but glad to see that these ones are doing well and keeping healthy there at the Edmonton Valley Zoo.
Super quick, Jeff, on these hot days, how do you stay cool? Are you one of those wading pool guys outside, or what's your secret?
That's right. I'm in my backyard in my shorts in my wading pool. Hoo-wee.
Or the old 3 a.m. shower?
I'm not sure what that means.